Hello, everyone. My name is Oyinda, and I will be presenting my research on the semi-automation of Alberta FICare Fidelity Audit checklists. Alberta Family Integrated Care, also known as MERGE, is a model of care which improves infant outcomes by integrating parents into the neonatal intensive care unit, or NICU team. It has been implemented in 14 Alberta NICUs. Fidelity audits and feedback to the units are central to implementation success and sustainability. These fidelity audits monitor uptake, identify barriers and facilitators impacting implementation, and report gaps to NICU managers. The current fidelity audit is a manual process where an observer uses an 8-page paper document to log NICU observations. This checklist includes items such as if parent education or information resources were readily available and current, or if physical barriers between team and family were minimized during interactions. The paper checklist is then transcribed to an electronic version. The observer must transcribe each item, adding additional comments and formatting to formalize the data into a report. The collected data are also used to create a report card, which provides a snapshot of a NICU's progress in implementing Alberta FICare over time. The NICU observations are valuable as they provide a third-party observer perspective on a NICU's fidelity to Alberta FICare and allows the hospital to make changes based on areas of weakness. The main problem is the format of the tool. The process of transcribing the paper fidelity audit checklist to an electronic version is tedious, taking roughly 4 hours per checklist. The objective of this research project was to create an electronic fidelity audit checklist that would semi-automate the data collection process. Semi-automation enhances human activities by leveraging machine potential. This would provide several benefits, including increased efficiency and reduced personnel costs. The first step in this process was to identify the components of the fidelity audit checklist. To do this, I participated in a NICU observation at an Albertan hospital and transcribed several fidelity audit checklists from the paper version to the electronic version. Next, I investigated several electronic platforms using an environmental scan. An environmental scan is a systematic search that focuses on collecting, organizing, and analyzing relevant information from various sources. I searched for important information such as cost, key features, and potential limitations. Lastly, I built a checklist prototype in several platforms that then underwent alpha testing. The goal of alpha testing was to identify potential issues in creating the digital form, user interface, submitting the form, or in analyzing data on the backend. 5 platforms were included in this environmental scan. The Alberta FICare team made the decision to exclude 3 of these platforms, Airtable, Notion, and Typeform, due to significant limitations identified in the environmental scan. These limitations included the inability to use the form on a mobile device or the inability to enter comments in these platforms. A full checklist prototype was built in the remaining 2 platforms, Jotform and Google Form, and underwent alpha testing. Alpha testing consisted of 3 submissions of the electronic form on each platform by the Alberta FICare team. Issues in both platforms were identified. In Jotform, there are issues in compatibility, formatting, and note-taking. In Google Forms, there were difficulties when writing using a stylus, limitations on the sizing of the form, and significant issues with how data were presented on the back end. While Google Forms could potentially be useful for data collection, the collected data would have to be analyzed manually. This would take a significant amount of time to export data and generate a report. For these reasons, the team has decided to look into a custom-built web platform to satisfy the unique needs of Alberta FICare. Our next steps for this project is to investigate a custom-built web application and to seek funding for this project. I would like to acknowledge the Program for Undergraduate Research Award for supporting my work this summer. I would also like to acknowledge the Alberta FICare team who provided feedback and support throughout this project. Thank you for listening.